Okay. I have my microphone clipped to me this time, so I don't sound far away. Anyways, do we remember what happened last week? I need something more than things happened last week. That's what you were going to say, weren't you? Well, if you aren't sure, Corcus Alba was literally accused of being the head of the ringleader. That's what he was accused of. And he was also accused of murdering Damask too. But we have a problem, don't we? Maybe you can tell me what that problem is. Maybe you can tell me what that problem is, Di. Do you know what the problem is? How about extraterritorial rights? Alright, so with this one, Di, for this to be the last stream, I will let you in on a little secret. This is probably going to be as tough as the Manfred von Karma battle. So if you feel like you can answer it, say, I want to try it out. If you don't feel like you can answer it, just say so and I will do it, okay? This is going to be just like the Manfred von Karma battle. March 15th. 2:11 a.m. Hey Phoenix. Theatrum Neutralis Lobby. I can't believe it, sir. Extraterritorial reality? Yes, and there's nothing we can do about that. In the end, we didn't have enough authority to bring him to justice. This is going to be the finale, even if it goes over midnight. I can't believe that even though we know he's the boss, we can't lay a figure on him. I know. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Sorry to skip out on you, but I've got some business to take care of. I'm thinking about quitting smoking today since I'm feeling a lot better. Nope, Gambit does not start next week. I don't know what I'm going to do next Monday. Gambit will start the following week. You already know the routine. We always take a week off between each Ace Attorney game. It's been like that since the first one. If we can't even get an evil guy like him to slap on the wrist, then what the heck were laws created for? What good are they? If the law can't help us, then I'll go as the Yatagarasu and take care of this myself. Don't you dare! Mr. Edgeworth! Sorry, that was a bit too harsh. I know how you feel, sir. We're trying to take on an ambassador after all. And he did tell us earlier to get off of the theater. This is kind of their country, I guess. But I feel like I've been slapped across the face for just doing my job. What am I going to do? Should I retreat for now? Or formulate a better plan of an attack? Come on, everyone! We can't give up yet! Okay. I want you to think about something for a sec. We've never let up for even a second, and as long as we don't stop investigating, we might find the rotten treasure hidden here. She's right! Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. You're right, Kay. Very well. Let us reopen the investigation and see what we can find. Come on, Kay. Right behind you. Okay, then I'll go check on Babal a bit more, sir. And I have something that I need to investigate further in Alabasta. Now then. Before I gather any more information, I should do a bit of housekeeping. Passion Flower data erased from my organizer. The Atrium Neutralis lobby. Ambassador Elba seems agitated over something. I wonder why. There are two special circumstances that surround the ambassador. First, the embassy itself has extraterritorial rights. If something happens on Alabastine's soil, we are unable to legally prosecute him. Cool! It sounds like embassies are the perfect place to steal whatever you want. And Murder Master 2 run a smuggling operation and make counterfeit bills, apparently. But I thought all of the counterfeiting was done by Mr. Cochin and Babal. Yes, he apparently used the embassy's coupon printing press to do it. But it seems the same story over there anyway. Babal also has extraterritorial rights. Which brings me to my next point, the ambassador's extraterritorial rights. Those rights are effective even in our own country. Really? No matter what happens, he can never be tried in our country's court. He retains some very special rights indeed. Basically, no matter what wrongs he may commit, we can't bring him to trial here. So I guess we really don't stand a chance, do we? We might stand a chance if we can somehow nullify either one of his special rights. Yes? We've come too far to give up. We must expose Ambassador Alba's misdeeds, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, of course. And we've got to find a way to steal the truth and get it out of there, for my father's sake. Yes, and we will. The reason for Ambassador Alba's nervousness must still be here somewhere. Furthermore, I need to pin down exactly what happened in here. I'll start by thoroughly examining this room for any information I can find. Mr. Edgeworth, if you don't if you don't pay attention, Mr. Alba, Ambassador Alba is going to get away. Yes, I know. Now, hurry up and do the swing thing you always do. I have no idea what you're talking about. What? You don't? Oh, come on. You know what I'm talking about. That thing you do. Are you talking about logic? Yes, that's it. So hurry up and let's swing already. All right. To be honest, it's been a bit hard to connect everything up until now by just looking. However, I should be able to piece things together if I take another look at my leads. Perhaps now is the time to use logic and reason my way to the truth. Can we do that? All right. So, which one are we piecing together? I already see two pieces I can put together. Do you see it yet, Di? Yes, no, maybe? I'm glad you said that, because that is correct. We know that the counterfeit bills were printed using the embassy's press, but the necessary materials such as the bubbly's ink and the paper must have been hidden in a secret location. But what do you think would have happened if the renovation had begun? Well, he probably had to find a better hiding place or get rid of it all. Right. So we can assume that the renovation was the cause of the plates and bills disposal, and the reason Mr. Cochin was killed as the ringleader of the smuggling operation. Based on that, we know who do you think was the one with the most to gain? This one should be very easy, Di. It's the one person who has been erasing all the evidence of the smuggling operation. From both embassies, the co-conspirator who is mopping up, Ambassador Elba. Ambassador Elba had a very strong motive to kill Manny Cochin. And this is all we have left. The cause of Ambassador Elba's agitation, the rotten treasure we may find. And the motive for killing Mr. Cochin. Miss Yu said it herself that she didn't kill anyone tonight. If we were to take her word at face value, then the reason for the ambassador's nervousness can only be one thing. He didn't want us to discover the real circumstances under which Mr. Cochin was killed. Then you mean Ambassador Elba is the real killer? But I thought the two of them were friends. Maybe they were, but what if Mr. Cochin was the one who first betrayed their friendship? Oh, I get it. Wasn't Mr. Cochin pushing really hard for Mr. Pelling, though, to be ambassador after the reunification? Yes, and that was the real reason why he wanted to steal the Alabest Primadoc statue. So Mr. Cochin hired Damask II to go steal it for him? But when Ambassador Elba found out what he was up to, he killed Mr. Cochin? It is definitely a possibility at this point. Those two really were thinking of no one but themselves. But the question now is, how did he do it? Ambassador Elba was in Alabest. But Mr. Cochin's body was discovered in Babal, right? Right, and that is what we must solve next. Okay. I really wish I didn't play in that. So this is the... Flowers were sent by a variety of people in business to celebrate the Goodwill event. Even the Steel Samurai received some flowers from the ambassador. There are so many bouquets here, it's like a wedding ceremony. I believe the flowers for those are for a slightly different reason. What do you mean? This event was supposed to be like a wedding between Alabest and Babal, right? Actually, I believe they're more in a state of divorce. Okay then, this event was supposed to be their remarriage ceremony. I suppose you could call it that. This was taken just before the two ambassadors gave their banquets to the Steel Samurai. Wait, is it just me or my imagination? Or is there something in this picture that I've seen before? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Do you see it, Dai? This one is actually pretty easy to spot. And the darkened side is actually easier to see than the actual photograph. The Steel Samurai? No, he's supposed to be in that picture. And it's only very coincidental he's giving both ambassadors rabbit ears. No, there's something else in the picture. If you look very closely. It's in the flowers, yes, but which one? The pink one. Now, which flower in the pink one are we going to look at? The sunflower, are you talking about this one right here? You talking about that one right there? It appears to be a banquet of Persane, cyclamen, and roses. It said roses, didn't it? No. He specified what flowers they were. Wow, you even know the exact species. I never would have figured you for an expert on flowers. It's all because of those flowers that old lady sends me every month. Just look at me. I sound like some sort of botanist. So, what exactly is this yellow flower here? That one. I'm not sure. What? You don't know? As far as I can tell, I've never seen a flower like this before. But I feel like I've seen this shape somewhere before. So we're going to deduce this. Is this the spot somewhere connected to any of the evidence that I hold? So since we're already looking at this one specific flower here, what piece of evidence do we have that kind of resembles this flower? I think you've seen it too. I'm gonna say next page. Wowee, it is on the next page. It's like you knew exactly where it was in the evidence. Could this piece of evidence be related to the photo somehow? Huh? Well, nope, I don't think it's related at all. Okay, that was wrong. But let's find the actual piece of evidence. Babal's national symbol is the butterfly and the alibes is the flower. It would appear that someone is employing the old hidden tree in a forest trick. What are you mumbling to yourself about? Wait, what? The handle on this knife? Ah! Yes, it's the handle that was supposed to be on the blade that killed Mr. Cochin. The weapon that killed him was carried through the theatrum neutralis. In the very bouquet Ambassador Alba was carrying. Commemorative photo data jotted down in my organizer. The flower motif. It looks like one of the flower petals is missing. Oh. And take a look at the weapon itself. It's missing the exact same petal. Then the knife in this photo is most definitely the same as the murder weapon. Alibes knife data updated in my organizer. I believe we now understand why Ambassador Alba was so nervous and agitated. It must have something to do with where Mr. Cochin was killed. A place where the Alabastine embassy was likely to meet the Bubbly's Mr. Cochin. The place where Ambassador Alba happened to have committed the murder is, and there's only one place where he could have killed Mr. Cochin. one place that would make sense for us to be able to send Ambassador Elba to court. This one you should know the answer to, Dai. No. Because if he was killed in Babal, it would end up going to Babal's court. Same with if he was killed in Alabest, it would have to go into the Alabest court. There's only one place that would be easy to send Ambassador Elba to court.
Take that!
The only place that makes sense is here, at the Theatrum Neutralis. What? Here? The Goodwill event was being held here today, correct? So the only place that the both of them would have been is here. But if that's the case, then everything changes. This theater isn't actually Elbastein's land. So that wipes out one of the extraterritorial rights he has. It makes logical sense, in which case it is a reason for us to investigate further. So what should we check out? Let's see. I believe we should check out the immigration records for both Elbast and Babal post-haste. Babal's records should be easy to obtain, however the problem will be Elbast. I wonder if they would allow us to see the records despite the order to vacate. I'm already one step ahead of you, Miles Edgeworth. Francisco, I have here the security footage from both Alabast and Babal. You would do well to take a look at this content. Security footage data jotted down in my organizer. You move fast. Avant Karma strives to be perfect in every way. It's not in my nature to keep on retreating like this. I took the liberty of looking over the Babal investigation report as well. From now on, you will make no excuse to back down or say that we can't solve this case. I'm sorry about that earlier. We won't be beaten, because my cute little subordinate is going to try his best, his very best, isn't he? Hasn't she patronized me enough already for a lifetime? So this video contains footage of Alabast's immigration screening area. I really hope there's something in here that we can use. Which minute's footage should I examine? So which one? There was nothing at 521. At 521, there was nobody there. At 522, you seen Ambassador Elba, which was just an Ambassador Elba. At 523, we seen the Steel Samurai pushing the baby carriage. So, which one would be the best one to investigate? At 522 is just him. There's nothing I see in here that we can actually look at. Because this is before the Steel Samurai showed up. So this actually would make a bit more sense to investigate. Because then we have something that we could possibly investigate. Which looks odd to you? Specifically this here. Doesn't something about this lump shape strike you as odd? Huh? Isn't it supposed to be this shape? No, there's clearly something odd about the bulge. If only we had the push card itself, we could compare and confirm my hunch. Push card data jotted down in my organizer. Next, let us check the footage from Babal's security camera. I hope it shows us something good. Phooey, there wasn't a single sign of suspicious person or anything. That right there is the contradiction. Huh? Did I miss something? You didn't miss anything because there was nothing to miss. However, what is missing is the image of Mr. Cochin entering his own embassy, his own country. But wasn't his body found in Babal? It would appear that the true face of our final puzzle has finally revealed itself. Ambassador Alba. I thought I asked for you and your group to vacate the premises, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I thought I should let you know that this theater sits on my country's soil. You've had your fun, and I've enjoyed our little game. I dare say that you've even achieved a new high score. Are we playing a video game here? However, once you've recorded a score, that same game can never be replayed again. Is this a creepypasta game? Is Mario 85 coming after me? Is Sonic EXE coming after me? Is Ben Drown coming after me? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Your game is done, and it's game over. Is it really? Is it really? I didn't waste all my lives in Super Mario Brothers yet. I think I still got, what, 20 lives to go? And I'm just going up against Bowser with a hammer suit. No.
Objection!
Where do you think you're going at a time like at this time of night? After admitting to my crime, I was overcome with regret. So I am heading to the airport now to return home. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. There are still too many issues we need to discuss with you. You can't stop me, Mr. Edgeworth, and you know it. Please, May I have a little bit of your time, Ambassador Alba? Ambassador Pelino! Even just a teeny tiny bit is fine with me. The already strained relationship between our countries is in a precarious situation, you know. Very well. If you insist. I will play just one more round with them and see what they want. I'll choose Chung Li. Not that they'll get anywhere with Ryu. Ambassador Pelino. Mr. Edgeworth, please choose Ryu. You want me to Hadouken the Ambassador Alba? All I wish for is the normalization of our relationship between our two countries. Yes, Hadouken the Ambassador Alba. But there is one person standing in the way of that dream. I believe in you. You'll do what's right. Thank you for your vote of confidence. Now then, what was it you wanted to ask me about? And no one's Hadouking me. I do have a flight to catch after all. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit you to just one question. That's more than enough because I only have one question anyway. Only one question? Only one question? Only one question? Only one question? Holy crap. Only one question. But yet, we're going to have more than that. I want to hear your alibi about how you couldn't have killed Mr. Manny Cochin. Oh, I see. You seem to have a good hand this time around. This should be fun. This really is the very last chance we have to bring him down. I won't allow even an atom-sized contradiction to slip by. Atom-sized contradiction. Can we even see an atom-sized contradiction? We'll find out, won't we? Ambassador Alba's alibi. Frankly, I still don't understand why I'm being placed under suspicion here. Under your hypothetical scenario, Mr. Cochin and I were fellow smugglers. But to get to the point, I was in Elabest the whole time. So, it's simply not possible for me to have killed him in Babal. That is my alibi. So, that is your alibi. That is correct. It's simply not possible for me to have committed a crime in Babal. Now that we've cleared that up, I appreciate it if you would move out of my way. Hold it! I said hold it! What is it this time? I thought I told you I'd only allow one question. You did, but you still have yet to really answer my one question. What? Until you tell us the truth, I will refuse to budge an inch from where I'm standing. Very well. I'll play with you just a little longer. Miles Edgeworth, as my subordinate and representative of this country's prosecutors, you are forbidden to lose. Of course. That is something I've understood from the start. That guy is the one who ordered my father killed, isn't he? Yes, I believe so. The goal of the first Yatagarasu was the capture of the smuggling ring's leader, my father and Uncle Bad. their legacy will live on through me. So that's why we've just got to catch him, okay? That's why we gotta catch him, okay? We will, I promise. Now, Ambassador Elbow, let's have at the truth now, shall we? No matter how many times you ask, my answer remains the same. Being the leader of a smuggling ring while taking on the duties of ambassadorship, don't you think that's the combination? Don't you think that the combination is more than enough reason for suspicion? Then there is the matter of the crossbow arrows and the Primadoc statue. All of that is nothing more than your flights of fancy. What do you mean by that? It's not a hypothesis. Earlier we proved it to be what happened. Ha ha ha. Well, let's leave that to one side for now, because it doesn't change the fact that I have no motive. Oh? So you really have no reason to kill Mr. Cochin? If you want to suppose I have one, then why not? I'll indulge you. After all, this is nothing more than a silly game to me. Even if that's how you see things, I appreciate it if you would take me seriously. I'm sorry. I suppose you are in a bit of a pickle. Very well. A game is no fun if the playing field isn't level. Therefore, I formally claim that I have no motive to kill. Now let's see you disprove it. How can he stand there looking proud when he knows he killed another human being? When I'm going to, well, I'm not going to stand by and just watch him get away with his crime. In that case, what motive would I have to kill my co-conspirator? Are you serious that just because you were partners, that you had no motive to kill? I'm only following your hypothetical scenario to its logical conclusion. Ha 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 ha! Looks like he's not going to admit it himself that he was in leagues with Mr. Cochin. I suppose not. But I do know his relation to the smuggling ring and to Mr. Cochin. You mean he's the ringleader, and that Mr. Cochin was his subordinate, right? Correct. But I know more than just that. Ms. Von Karma, I'm sure you remember the safe in Mr. Cochin's office, correct? Yes. The safe had 2 compartments to it, didn't it? Yes. And why do you think those stolen goods were being stolen in Mr. Cochin's office? Could it be because he was trying to cheat Ambassador Elba behind his back, but Mr. Cochin didn't turn the goods over, but decided instead to keep them for himself? I suppose that's possible. Seems to me that both men were only concerned with their own wealth and well-being. Then that means that maybe they didn't have a trusting relationship after all. What Ambassador Elba had to gain, I believe that is his motive for killing Mr. Cochin. What are you people whispering about amongst yourselves over there? Ah, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. Now then, let's continue with your testimony. Can you imagine what that looked like? And what exactly did you do while you were in the LBS? I had a meeting with a stealth samurai, and then I arranged a few files. Around that time, the thief who was sneaking in took me by surprise. Are you saying that it was Damas 2 that made the first move? Yes. And it was after I was attacked that I hit him on the head with a Primadog statue. Unfortunately, he died from the blow, but it was an act of justified self-defense. Calling it that doesn't cover up what you really did. Ha 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 ha! Cover up? No, my boy, I'm not covering up anything. I'm telling the truth. You are planning to admit to it? Which is why you tried to frame the Steel Samurai? If you weren't an ambassador, I'd be letting my whip fly loose on you right now. I'm terribly sorry that I didn't clean up the body better, but I'm a busy man. I had a speech to give in the Rose Garden after that, you know? Yet despite that, you still had time to kill Mr. Cochin, didn't you? Man is evil, and I'm sure you are familiar with the fact, but Mr. Cochin was killed in Babal, where I was, all the way in Elabas. You insist that it's not possible for you to have killed Mr. Cochin in Babal? And you are correct. Oh? I thought you would put up a bit more of a fight. But if you must concede to me, the only thing I am conceding is that it's not possible for you to kill him in Babal. I am not conceding that your alibi is the truth. Oh? I see. However, no matter how you try, know that you can't crush my alibi. You would be wise not to underestimate a prosecutor of this country. Ha! We'll see about that. So Mr. Cochin was a friend of Ambassador Elba. That's true, then why did the ambassador kill him? It's not like in the case of my father where he ordered someone to do it. The problem we have here is we don't know what their exact relationship was. Indeed. If they had completely trusted each other, then there is no motive for murder. However, both men were very selfish, and I believe that is from where his motive arose. Do you know the statement? Nope. Now can you figure out the piece of evidence? Nope, that's not going to help you in this one. Because Ambassador Alba didn't even have any possession of the bills. They were still in Manny Cochin's office. Were you able to see it? We can't use pushcart yet because we have no evidence to support the pushcart yet. It's just a hypothesis. But think about this. Why would he want to kill Manny Cochin? What did Manny Cochin do that would want Alba to kill Manny Cochin? That's the question that's being asked. Not sure? Well, who sent this? Who sent this letter or this note? Who sent it? Who sent this note? You tell me who sent this note. Oh, he didn't send it. Not Alba. No, the name's right there where they match the handwriting analysis. Manny Cochin's the one that sent it. Toward the mask to steal the Primadoc statue. Does that sound like a motive for murder? If you want to know, I believe you did have a motive to kill. It was because Mr. Cochin had betrayed you. But you had your own reasons too. Namely, you wanted to pin the smuggling all on him. Evil begets evil, and because you were trying to test each other, it turned into this mess. I don't believe this. You have a bad penchant for telling tall tales, Mr. Prosecutor. And if you're not, then I suppose you have some proof to support your argument. I never used guesswork in moving my case forward. It has been proven that this note was written by Mr. Cochin's hand. Shall we take a look at it? The content of the note is a request calling for the theft of the Alabest Primadoc statue. By killing him and pushing all the guilt for the smuggling onto him, you walk away spotless. I believe you don't understand what I'm driving at. You have more than a few reasons to kill him. Are you finished with your hypothesizing? Excuse me? Let's suppose I did have a motive. Even so, a motive or a thought alone can't kill. Isn't that right? I didn't expect him to resort to playing the semantics game with me. It appears that this is where the real battle will begin. Now then, if you'll excuse me. Wait, what? I told you at the very beginning, didn't I? You only get one question. Ambassador Alba, if you could please give us just a little bit more of your time. It doesn't matter what kind of man he was my subordinate. Which is why I would like for us to figure out the real cause of his death. That is something for Babal to figure out, and something to which I have no relation to. Ouch. Now he's even turning down a request from Ambassador Palino. I'm very sorry, but it seems that now even my voice fails on deaf ears. There is no need for you to apologize, Ambassador Palino. We must find some way to stop him from leaving. It seems that there are no further objections. In that case, please allow me to return home. Hold it right there, Ambassador Alba. Okay. Like I said, Mr. Edgeworth, the Yatagarasu's legacy will live on through me. Yes, but how do you suggest we stop him from leaving? You just leave that to me. Ambassador Alba, do you recognize this? No. And why should I recognize that tattered old organizer? Wait, where have I seen that before? That is a clue my father, Bernie Faraday, left for us. Did you say Bernie Faraday? Mr. Faraday's organizer? Don't tell me this is the one from the second KG-8 incident. The one in which he wrote about the Yatagarasu's key? Yes. This organizer belonged to the prosecutor you had Miss Hugh kill 7 years ago. I have no idea what you're talking about. You say that like it was related to me. Inside this organizer, he wrote up every detail of every evil thing you did. What an amusing little girl you are! But that sort of trickery won't work on me. If you won't believe me, then take a look at this. And what is that toy there? This Siri device was used by the Yatagarasu, or rather, by my father. 7 years ago, he used this when he snuck into this embassy. What? These two pieces of evidence that hold information the Yatagarasu dug up on you. If you go home now, I won't hesitate to send it all to the Alabest, right behind you. Little girl, get to the point. I want you to go up against Mr. Edgeworth one more time. If you win, then I'll hand over these two pieces of evidence. Yatagarasu, even the thorn in my side. Okay, does that organizer really contain any information on his dirty dealings? It's nothing case-breaking, really. Ah. Then it was just a bluff. Even if it was, we still can't let all that information my father and Uncle Bad found go to waste. Plus, just the existence of Little Thief is troublesome enough for him. Those two pieces. Aren't they keepsakes of your father? It's okay. I believe in Mr. Edgeworth. He'll come out on top in the end. Hey. When the going gets tough, someone's got to be there to put the wind back in your sails. After all this time. You're still quite the feisty one. I applaud your powerful nature. I refuse to lose this too. Ambassador Alba, you won't be returning home until you give us further testimony. How dare you all! Burying a person like me. Ambassador Alba, your testimony, if you please. Alright, but this is the absolute last. Then, even if you use all the power of Ambassador Palino's office, you won't stop me. I can't let this opportunity Kay has created for me go to waste. Alba's Alibi Part 2. The last time I met with Mr. Cochin was here at the Theatrum Neutralis. After that, I was in Alabest the rest of the time, as I stated earlier. In any case, I did not see Mr. Cochin again after that. So you see, there is no time span in which I could have killed him. Wouldn't you agree? Now, since you people were practically begging, I'll allow you to question me. What an arrogant old man. Yes, but no matter. We can't allow this chance to escape us. I will warn you, though. You've reached the end of my patience. Waste my time with any inane question, and you will be punished. I will let you in on a little secret. For whatever reason, this was removed from the remake. I don't know why they removed this from the remake, but this was removed from the remake, making this the hardest testimony in the game. I told you this is going to be the same fight as Manfred von Karma. So, needless pressing is going to penalize you. And remember when we did those testimonies, you kind of let me do them, didn't you? I did warn you in advance, didn't I? I'm not entirely sure why they cut it from the remake. I'm not sure why they cut this from the remake, but they should have kept it in the remake. So, any needless pressing or presenting will cost more to our case. In that case, the only thing you can do is to present the correct evidence, understood? Of course. I don't intend to let him intimidate me. I know Mr. Cochin was killed before he returned to Babal. In which case, there's only one statement to which I need to present the evidence. I could have presented this on the fourth statement as well. I'd like you to take a look at this picture. That's a rather nice picture, isn't it? It was to commemorate the restoration of relations between our nations. Oh, it's commemorative, all right. One that captures the proof I need to show that it was you who committed the murder. Come again? This is the knife that killed Mr. Cochin. I see you recognize it, as well as you should, for it was you who brought it to this theater. You hid it in amongst the flowers you were to give to the Steel Samurai, meaning that you killed Manning Cochin here at the theater. It's time for me to catch my flight. We're not through yet. It's game over for you, Mr. Edgeworth, but I thank you for the entertainment. No matter how passionately you orate, the end results will still be the same. I won't be returning to the country ever again. That's right. This man is an ambassador, and he has extraterritorial rights. No matter how hard we chase after him, we won't be able to have him tried in court. Yes, that's exactly the face you should be making. The face of a worthless cur. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, I must bid you farewell. The court. Is there no one who can lay a finger on this man? Is this really the end? Agent Lang! Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Prosecutor. Get out of my way! My plane is scheduled to take off soon. Sorry, but you're not going anywhere, Mr. Elba. I'm through playing games with you people. You can't touch me. If you do, it would spark an international incident, Agent Lang. Sorry, but no, it won't. What? Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Good job holding the fort down here until I got back. So, Mr. Alba, your diplomatic immunity has just been revoked. What do you mean, revoked? Spare me this nonsense and let me through. Langsy says, before aiming the throat, chew the neck shield off first. Interpol headquarters and the imperial household of the Kingdom of Alabeth took a while to get things rolling, but they finally moved on it. The imperial household? What have you done? You have been relieved of your duties as ambassador, Mr. Alba. What? 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 Effective today. Effective right now. And you have Mr. Prosecutor's videotape to thank for this. The videotape the Yatagarasu protected? You can't be arrested simply because you're an ambassador? In that case, I thought I'd strip you of that title. You underestimate me, a descendant of the founder of the detainment philosophy, Langsy. For 1,000 years of deeply entrenched connections and networks around the world have really paid off. It can't be! I don't believe this! I don't remember any of this in the remake. I watched the remake. I don't remember any of this in the remake. I remember it in the original one, so that's why I know that it's in the game, but I remember none of this in the remake. So I'm kind of wondering what was changed, or why it was changed. My ambassadorship has been revoked? Looks like you're finally coming to grips with your new standing. Woohoo! Looks like he's turned docile again. He's probably in shock from the loss of his shield. What a shame. I had so wanted to use my whip on him. Why is this happening to me? I'm just a hard-working, honest ambassador. Do you really think you can still pull that on us now? We've already ripped away the mask and seen you for who you really are, Mr. Alba. No! I won't be stopped now! He still intends to fight us? So what if I'm no longer an ambassador? You still don't have any evidence on me? The fact remains that you cannot arrest me. I expected no less from you, the boss of the smuggling ring. Well, the rest is up to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Understood. You say that I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater? But even if it's true that there was a knife in my bouquet, I left the bouquet in the theater. So anyone could have taken it from there and used it. Right? Besides, the claim that he was killed here himself is odd. After all, wasn't his body discovered in Baval? Are you claiming that I carried his body all the way over there? Preposterous. I'll be the one to prove whether it's preposterous or not. Ex-Ambassador Alba, are you ready? Because this is no game. This is war. Ambassadors are Alba's alibi, part 3. I killed Mr. Cochin in the theater using a knife that was stuck in my bouquet. I left the bouquet in the theater. Anyone could have taken the knife from there. Besides, Mr. Coach's body was discovered in Babal, right? There's no way for me to have transported his body from the theater to Babal. Look, don't you think you've had enough fun with me? You've already stolen my ambassadorship from me. Would you have me surrender too? You have no plans to ever return to this country, isn't that right? Did you know that a bunch of your subordinates are seeking asylum because of you? As if I care. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, boot this guy out of the embassy and we can finally end everything. I know, and I will give it my all to see that he leaves in handcuffs. Without the title of ambassador, he's just another witness. Yes, just another witness. All right, what are you waiting for? Let's get this guy. And get him good. I wonder if they understand that all I can do is present evidence to the testimony. All right. You should be safe on this one. That's right. As I explained earlier, the commemorative photo shows that you had the knife on your personage. You have no proof that the bouquet was prepared by me, isn't that right? Excuse me? The fact that there was a knife in the bouquet was something I wasn't aware of. What a pathetic excuse. The weapon that was used in one of your national treasures, it isn't exactly something anyone other than you could have touched, let alone take. I allow some of my trusted subordinates to handle them. It could have been my secretary. You're an even bigger slimeball than I thought. You would push the guilt of Mr. Cochin's murder onto one of your subordinates? In any case, the fact that the knife was in the bouquet means nothing. You still wish to deny your actions? And you still wish to deny reality and accuse me of murder? What? I am not in denial! Even though he's not an ambassador anymore, he's still got a real bad attitude. I believe it's because he's no longer ambassador that he can let himself speak freely. Well, if he's not holding anything back, then neither should I. Wait! For the sake of the case, please refrain from what I think you're about to do. Ah, quite the pair of frightening women you are. But I digress. Even if he was found in Babal, he was killed somewhere else. Stop bluffing, because you can't prove what you're claiming. If there was a court-martial in my country, you'd have already been removed from the room. Are you taunting us on purpose? Because I'll be happy to show you my claws. Hold on, Ancientling. Allow me to fight him my way with evidence. I was just joking. I'm not so easily ruffled by the likes of him. Too bad. Though I'm no longer an ambassador, it still could have been an international incident. If you have the will to threaten us with the mouth of yours, then perhaps you can use it to return to the testimony? Very well. But to be fair, you should watch what you say as well. Is that really so? You could have easily blackmailed your subordinates to be quick and then moved the body. That's quite an insult to me and my subordinates, and I'm afraid we couldn't have that. It's very difficult to enter my embassy, as the guards always conduct a thorough check. If someone so much as makes an unnatural movement, it would arouse their suspicion. Come to think of it, there wasn't anything unnatural about him in the footage. Wait, let me think about that for a second. Mr. Elbow said that the guard would become suspicious if someone acted unnaturally. But then, by the same token, the guard would not become suspicious if someone were to act naturally? If we retrace Mr. Elbow's movement, we should find some hint to solving this case. Well, right after the Steel Samurai stage show, he went back to Ella Best, right? From there, he started preparing for his speech into the Alabastine embassy. It does sound like it wasn't possible for him to have gone to the Babalese embassy. He couldn't have gone to Babal, but the body didn't remain at the theater either. Is it possible that the body was temporarily taken to a different location first? This one should be pretty easy to pick up. The evidence should be pretty easy to pick up too. Remember that word, transported. What piece of evidence do we have that can transport something?
Objection!
Actually, I do believe there was a way to transport the body out of the theater. Perhaps you should give this a look. What is that supposed to be? It's footage from a security camera that captured the state of the immigration area. Should I congratulate you on getting your hands on that? Just letting you know that we're not the only ones watching your every movement. Thank you for the warning. Now, if you could take a good look at this section here. This lump here inside the push cart. Do you know what's causing it? Should I? Because I don't. In that case, allow me to enlighten you. This is the cause of the unnatural lump under the cloth in the push cart. This one should be already staring you at the face, Di. What is the meaning of showing me that? It's to say that the unnatural bulge in the pushcart is Mr. Cochin's body. You had the steel samurai wheel his body away from the real crime scene. What a guess! But I wonder if you have any evidence to support it. I admit for now it is but a hypothesis, however. If you can't prove it, then I'm afraid I must be on my way. I don't have any more time to play with you people. Gumshoe to the rescue! Sorry I took so long, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Gummy! Detective Gumshoe? Is that the Steel Samurai's pushcart? Yes, sir. I found it in the open air stage area. So that's where you went. The detective spirit that Pops left me with. I thought I'd follow my gut and go with it, sir. So, Mr. Edgeworth, is this worth anything to the case? Yes, it is. It just may play a major role in solving this case, detective. But something isn't right. I thought the entire samurai family was in Alabas. Where exactly is the open air stage area? Did you find this pushcart? I found it lying there at the edge of the stage, sir. Oh? Well, let's leave that for now and examine the inside, detective. Yes, sir. Okay. What do we have here? It's blood. This must be Mr. Cochin's body. Or this must be Mr. Cochin's blood, which only goes to prove that Mr. Cochin's body was indeed transported by this pushcart. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at this theater and then placed his body inside the pushcart. And then you forced the Steel Samurai to unwillingly move the body for you. I forced him to move the body in Alabas? What nonsense! Why would I bother to do such a thing? You were scheduled to make a speech in Alabas, meaning it was difficult for you to make a stop in Babal. However, what if you moved the body to Alabas? Because it was your embassy. You could keep an eye on it and tamper with the evidence, and then you smuggle it out of Alabas. No! If I can show how you moved the body from Alabas to Babal, then I win. But you can't. The security between the two countries is incredibly tight. I believe I'll be the one to judge whether I can or cannot prove it. And so I ask you to prove us with testimony regarding your movements after you return to Alabama. Miles Edgeworth, have you figured it out? Do you know how the body was moved? To be honest, I have nothing to support my hypothesis at this time. However, I don't believe I've made a mistake in my logic up to this point, which means there is no question that can't be answered, right? The Prima Doc statue was smuggled successfully through a brief flight through the air. So why shouldn't there be an answer as to how the body was moved? Which means that there must be a logic flaw somewhere I can't exploit. Moments in Alabast. After I returned to Alabast, I had my picture taken with the Steel Samurai shaking hands. Then, just as I was about to start my speech, the Yatagarasu appeared. I feared for the national treasure, so I raced back to my office. Is that all? Yes, that's all.
Objection!
It looks like you left out a few things, such as the murder of Damask too. Furthermore, you left out the part about meeting with me in your office. Ah, those trifling matters. I don't believe I need to speak of those things again. I do so hate to waste time. What? You. Is not every life precious? Do you really need me to answer that for you? People like you cannot be allowed to wander freely through society. Then you better try hard, because I doubt you'll find a single contradiction. He's really full of himself, isn't he? Yes, he is. How can he be so confident at a time like this? Ha 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 ha! Come, don't be shy. Go ahead and ask whatever you'd like. Well, Di, we have no choice but to press every statement. Because the end of this one is going to be quite interesting because we have nothing to do with this one.
Hold it!
So, why was it only with the Steel Samurai? I thought the Pink Princess was also around. The Pink Princess was suffering from a bad hip at the time, and the doctors recommended that she rest. Wow, so you do have a soft side after all. The pain of a bad hip. Suppose none of you can really understand how it feels. Actually, I do. Believe me, being underneath my dad a few times when his hip gave out, yes, I can honestly tell you, I know how the pain feels. Oh, so you tend to strain your back as well, huh? But isn't that just because you're normally all hunched over? He did need to keep up the act no matter what, I suppose. The point of this is not to discuss my back problem. For about 15 minutes after our handshake, I was in my office preparing for the speech.
Hold it!
That Yatagrasu was just a trick that you had set up. Ha ha ha! A most amusing joke. And how do you propose that I set it up? If you really want to know, I can explain it in detail for you. You arranged the spotlights in the rose garden so that when you were to take the stage, the audience would see the Yatagarasu's shadow. Oh? That is an interesting tale. Sadly, it has nothing to do with me. You. What's it going to take for you to fess up to anything? Very well then. Let's move on to a different question. After the Yatagrasu appeared, what was the state of the rose garden? Everyone took refuge inside the embassy. I even helped with the effort. And then once again, everyone was inside, well...
Hold it!
And what happened after you returned to your office? I don't want to keep on repeating this, however. Upon my return, I had the stroke of bad luck and bumped into Mask Man. And I don't want to keep on repeating this either. But his name was Damask too. Who cares what he was called? By the time I got to the Prima Duck statue that he was supposed to steal, he had already been Swap for the fake. Talk about an unlucky man being bludgeoned to death with a fake statue. Ha ha ha! Call me Scorpion. Miss Von Karma is really letting her whip fly now. Eek! I think the scary part is the silence when she's doing it. She must be at the limit of her patience as well. But physical attacks are meaningless here. Only evidence will suffice. I can't find a single flaw in his argument. At this rate, I won't be able to prove that he is actually guilty of anything. Are we finished here? Miles Edgeworth, can you not come up with how the body was moved to Babal? Sir. Mr. Edgeworth. Sir. Even after proving so much, is he going to get away with it? No. Is this the end? It appears that we have... It would be a great honor if you would allow us to be your allies in battle. Evil Magistrate, it is time for you to pay. It's the Steel Samurai? No, you are mistaken, for I am Steel Samurai Daddy, married man of Neo-Odi Tokyo. And this is Pink Princess Mommy. Edgy Poo! The two people that I wanted to see the least. Larry! What are you two doing here? Way to show your gratitude, Edgy! We just wanted to help, yes? I'm gonna get to the... Go away! How can you be so mean to us, Edgy Poo? All three of us came to lend a hand, and this is how you treat us? Well, isn't this grand? And I see they managed to find the Iron Infant? Does that really matter right now? Hey! Is it just me, or is the Iron Infant completely south? Oh yeah. I found him in the ball, but he was in the middle of the pool. Wait a second. Larry, go back to what you just said. Excuse me. Huh? Oh, it appears that we made it. Not that far back! Something about finding the Iron Infant in Babal. And we found it in a pool? I don't recall there being one in Babal. Oh, that! Well, I was in Elabeth the whole time. So I had no idea how the Iron Infant wound up in Babal. I thought I had lost him in the Rose Garden, but I guess maybe this cute kid can swim, huh? Wait, what? Larry, you lost the Iron Infant in the Rose Garden? Are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure, but I found him in... That's enough, Larry. The Iron Infant that Larry lost managed to move between the two countries. Furthermore, the Iron Infant was found soaked in the middle of a pool. This is what I have been looking for. It's another smuggling route between the countries. The key to the route the infant took to travel from Elabeth to Babal is... Ah, that's right. This embassy was built with bilateral symmetry in mind. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. There is a location I wish for you to examine post-haste. It is where I believe the route used to smuggle Mr. Cochin's body lies. Does something like that really exist, sir? An embassy built on bilateral symmetry, meaning that this is where we need to examine. This one should be very easy. Actually, no. We're going to be examining here. Because if there's water on this side, what does this mean for this side? Think.
Take that!
Yes, sir. I'll be back before you know it. It's too late. It doesn't matter now what you do. It's all a waste of time. You will stay here with us and wait. This is Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth. It's here, sir. There's a reservoir here, just like in the rose garden. Just as I suspected. What is it? The two sides of this embassy are mirror images of each other, which means that there's also a pool at the corresponding location on the Babalee side. Mr. Cochin's body was moved into Babal through the pool in Alabeth. Avoiding the topic with vague answers like that is unbecoming of a prosecutor. If you don't mind, I'd like to see more physical proof if you have any. The Iron Infant is positively soaked in water. Why do you think that is? It's because he was fished out of a pool, and not just any pool, it was the Babalee's one. I think it's pretty obvious at this point what must be true. The water reservoirs in the two countries' courtyards are connected. And where is your proof that these two sides are connected? The proof is right there before your eyes. The half-drenched Iron Infant. What? This is blasted droll! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm back. Hey. Don't tell me. You guys figure everything out without me? We did, thanks to this hero of justice, son. Even if he is just a doll, he managed to help foil the villain. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, look, I don't want to say this, but it's kind of unlikely that the body just happened to have passed on through the Babal. This guy's a doll, and he's small, so I can believe it made it. But he has a point. Yes, that's right. I'm glad someone here understands. Mr. Edgeworth, are you going to next propose that a dead body can swim through a pipe? You see, Mr. Prosecutor, our chance after this man is far from over. Agent Lang. Why is he helping Mr. Alba out now? He's not. He's realizing a flaw in my argument, and it's helping me to move the logic along. In which case, I should return the favor and find an answer. And another thing, Mr. Cochin's body was found in his office in Babal. So what happened to his body after it was transported to the open-air stage? Mr. Alba had an accomplice in Babal, remember? You mean Sheena, right? With her there, you can see how it was possible to move the body up to the office. Are you seriously claiming that she swam through the connecting pipe with the body? He's right. Miss Sheena would drown if she did that. It's hard to imagine that she swam through the connecting pipe. It looks like your hypothesis about how the body was moved is still only half-baked. In the end, it's all just the befuddled musings of an accusatory man. Now then, I believe you should give up and allow me passage. Because from the start, there was no feasible method of transporting the body. There was. And if you think about it, you'll figure out exactly how. What? Mr. Prosecutor, recall Sheena's movements. What was happening in the embassy around the time Miss Sheena was in Babal? That's the clue. That's the clue. That right now is the clue. You know that answer, don't you, Di? Ooh! If only there was a way to get rid of the water in the pool. Get rid of the water. Okay, figured out another clue. Aha, that's it! Now I believe this time we really are done, right? Unfortunately for you, it's far from over, Mr. Alba. You are a most persistent man. Are you saying that you thought of a way to move the body through the water? Move the body through the water? That is completely irrelevant to how it was done. Excuse me? The reason I say this is because there wasn't any water there at the time. What do you mean there wasn't any water? Just what it sounds like. Tonight's events made it possible to drain the water, allowing the body to be moved. What was it? Go through them again. I thought you could have figured this one out. This one's very easy to figure out. What photo? What photo? This one? No, this one had no reason for water to be used. You had no reason to use water for this photo. What would be the reason to be using water for? The plants? The plants? I don't even have plants anymore. The passion flowers are no longer evidence. Now the fountain would fill the water. The fountain would fill the water. You're not using, the water isn't being used, so it's filling the filling the water, the well up, okay? But what would be the reason why you would be using water?
Take that!
Tonight, the Yatagarasu set fire to a variety of locations in the Babalese embassy. In order to put the fires out, much of the reservoir's water was used. Of course, when the water was used, the reservoir's water level went down. If enough water was drained, the connecting pipes could be used to traverse the border. So what? The water level went down. The reservoirs were connected. Does any of this matter? You can't prove any of this. Pretending to be ignorant won't work with me. We both know what kind of situation we're in right now. Even in a game, there comes a crucial game-changing moment. Breaking the fourth wall here? A moment in which you hit a wall that you must overcome in order to beat the game. I haven't lost yet. I still have 9,999 in Super Mario Brothers. What the heck do you do to get 999,000 lives in Super Mario Brothers? I hacked the game. I found the route you used to smuggle the body, and that route will lead to your defeat. Even if all the water was used by the firefighting effort, you still can't really call that a smuggling route. I know that. Ha ha ha! I should have figured that you would notice. Hey, Mr. Alba, how deep are those pools anyways? Ha ha ha! I'll have you know those pools are extremely deep. And there are no ladders or footholds along the walls either. It would be difficult for Sheena to hold the body and climb up out of the pool. Ladders and footholds along the walls. There was no need for such things. What do you mean? If one were to use a certain something, they could go up and down in the pool at will. Oh? It looks like you've got an answer already. Well, what are you waiting for, Mr. Prosecutor? Enlighten us already. The way in which Miss Sheena and the body were able to rise up to ground level. If there was a way to control the water level, that could be the way the body was moved. This was used so that the body and Miss Sheena could move up and down in the pool. This one should be pretty easy. Kind of spoiled this on the last one where you're trying to figure out the fire! Mr. Elbow, used the fountain spouts in a manner of speaking. He used the fountain spouts? How so? The water level in the pools can be controlled by opening and closing the spouts. The Sheena and the body were lifted upwards by their buoyancy in water. The fires on the Babalee side and the firefighting effort. Those were set in motion all for the sake of smuggling Mr. Cochin's body. Shall I show you where the final destination of my train of logic leads? First, Mr. Elbow closed the fountain spouts in advance in preparation of things to come. Then, he took the pushcart that was brought to the rose garden and pushed it in, along with the Iron Infant and Mr. Cochin's body into the pool. And this time, Miss Sheena was busy conveniently starting the first fire in Babal. She then made for the open air stage's pool to wait for the firefighting efforts to begin. When the firefighters used the water in the pool, the water level went down, and by the time the fire was put out, the pipes between the two pools were exposed. This is when she pushed the pushcart from Alabas into Babal. Once that was accomplished, Mr. Alba simply opened the fountain spouts once more. And the water level rose up to its normal level, along with Miss Sheena and the body. After that, Miss Sheena used the pushcart to carry the body up to the Secretariat's office. There is an elevator in the embassy after all, so you see, even with her small frame, she could have easily transported Mr. Cochin's body. And that wraps up my thorough explanation of how the body was moved. Well, ex-Ambassador Alba, what do you think? Not so in touch without your precious extraterritorial right to protect you, are you? I knew you could do it, Mr. Edgeworth. Way to fight back! You accuse me of moving the body across country lines, but when you get down to the nitty-gritty, you don't have what it takes to indict me. The nitty-gritty? What does the old man want now? Proof, I believe, is what he seeks. Yes, proof. Without any, who is to say whether or not any of what you said really happened? He wants proof? What are we going to do, Mr. Edgeworth? There is no need to worry. I've had all the proof we need all along. The body wasn't the only thing to go through the pools connecting pipes tonight. Just as Detective Gumshoe found the pushcart in the open air stage area, so too did I find one other item there. And that piece of evidence is what will prove that the pools were the smuggling route. This was another thing that was smuggled over to Babal's open air stage area. Do you know what it is, Di? Did I help you out? Did I help you out?
Take that!
And what exactly is this? You have no idea, do you? This little piece that I found on the Babalee side will be your undoing. A guitar pick! Would you care to explain how this is going to do me in, as it were? Much to your chagrin, perhaps, but this is not a guitar pick. What? This is something I found at the open-air stage, which was transported with the body. I naturally assumed that you would recognize it, since you took a photo with it, after all. But since you don't, allow me to fill you in on what I found at the stage exactly belongs to. This one should be easy, because you're looking at it. Nope. Nope. Not the statue. This little thing is actually too small to be part of the statue. No, this would not go on the bills either. Should be pretty easy. See it? No, not the key. Do you see it?
Take that!
Let us take a good look at the murder weapon that was used to kill Manny Cochin. On the handle of this knife, there is a beautifully blooming flower. However, it would appear that it's missing a single petal. Now, let's see what happens when we try to fit this pick in that open slot. It's a perfect fit. See it? I assume that the petal must have fallen off on the flower during Mr. Cochin's murder, and then it would accidentally place into the pushcart along with Mr. Cochin's body. That's an interesting story, nothing more. Oh, I assure you it's more than just a story. Because for some odd reason, this flower petal was wet when I found it. It was wet, you say? Yes, and the only place it could have gotten wet from is the open-air stage pool. Now I ask you, how did a part of the weapon which was smuggled into the theater wind up in the open-air stage area on the Babalu side of the embassy? I don't think I need to waste any words explaining this, as this petal explains it all for me. It proves that something went from the Rose Garden pool on through into the bulb. Impossible! The people of Zhangfa have been waiting for you, waiting to see you, face to face, Mr. Alba. I'll tell you, everyone back home will be there soon. You should be happy. Why? Why? It's a little late to be asking that question. You should have known from the very beginning. When you took your first life, no matter how you may plot or how you may try to cover it all up, you can never hide from your crime and what you've done. Because we're here to see to it that justice is served to people like you. You! can't call what you gave, given a perfect argument. You know, I don't think this guy is going to ever admit to his wrongdoing, Mr. Edgeworth, because he values himself above all else. People who can't be negotiated with, or people who refuse to admit when they've lost. I don't believe those kinds of people really exist, because everyone breaks eventually. You're right. In that case, I have no choice but to use all the evidence I have. I'll use it all until he breaks under the weight of his crimes. Mr. Alba, I request you testify one more. This really will be the end of the line. Okay. We are going to finish this. So let's see. This last part isn't exactly that long. So, die. No, he really isn't cracking. Does he remind you of Manfred von Karma? Find it a little coincidental that Miles Edgeworth's first game features somebody like that at the end. Phoenix Wright's first game features someone like that at the end of the game. We're gonna see quite a few similarities when we go through the series. This is why I don't consider the investigation games as like the spin-off or what. Because you'll find out that all of this will connect to the last collection where they call it the Apollo Justice Collection. They all connect. But yet Capcom still considers this a spin-off series. I don't. And you'll find that out on the next game. I'm still quite confused as to why people doesn't like the Miles Edgeworth games. I actually like them because it's the side of the story that is not in the other Ace Attorney games. And this is the side that you see of Edgeworth. You learn more about Edgeworth. Most people says that they don't like it because there's no courtroom setting. Well, granted, no courtroom, but it still retains the elements as if there was a courtroom. Ready for the last one, Di? Ready for the last one? Look at Di. 100 messages. March 15th, 3:33 a.m. The Atrium Neutralis lobby. Mr. Alba, I request that you testify once more. As if there is anything else for me to testify about. I still have yet to fully prove that it was Mr. Alba who murdered Mr. Cochin. Well, I would like to hear about your movements before the murder occurred. I wonder if you could tell us about what you did here at the Atrium Neutralis. Very well. I suppose I could tell you about that. Because about all I did was watch the Steel Samurai stage show. Elaborate on even that alone is good enough for me. The only way for me to place this man under arrest is to pinpoint the exact location of where the murder took place, for that is the key to this investigation. The Steel Samurai show. I watched from the last row. The stage was well lit, but it was dark out in the audience. I swear I was there in the audience, but it's hard to prove that, I suppose. I do remember the contents of the show very well, though. Is that proof enough for you? So, those moving scenes were seared into this old man's heart. I'll never forget them. So, you were in the theater proper, watching the Steel Samurai stage show? Were you? Of course I was. I have a great fondness for the Steel Samurai. Yeah, I was pretty cool up there, wasn't I? You're not the one who was cool, it was the Steel Samurai who was cool. Yeah, and the Steel Samurai's special fighting move today was really something, huh? Huh? Hey, Angie, who is she? Who is this super cute girl? She's been standing here this whole time and only now you notice her? Her name is Kay Faraday, and she's helping me in my investigation. Sorry I didn't get to introduce myself earlier, but better late than never. Yeah, it's okay. I'm Larry Barnes! Silence is in the peanut gallery. There's no time for such trivialities at a time like this. Mr. Prosecutor, this is the final battle. You got that? I know. This is the end. For that man there. Ha ha ha. Now that's the kind of thing I like to hear. I think I'll give trusting you a try, Mr. Prosecutor. Or rather, Mr. Edgeworth. Earning respect from an Interpol agent. I leave this critical battle to you, Mr. Edgeworth. Have no fear. I will finish this job. This really is the end game. The time has come to expose every last one of Mr. Elba's lies. The last row? I should think that an ambassador would have had special seating reserved. I wanted my staff to enjoy the Steel Samurai's show as well, so I gave up all of the good seats for them. It was enough for me to simply see him.
Hey, the Steel Samurai wasn't the only hero. Let's not forget the pink princess here.
My dear madam, if you continue to thrust about like that, your hip may begin to hurt again.
Oh my, well, aren't you the considerate person when you wanna be? But this young butterfly is on the side of edgy poo. So you can spare me the flirtatious comes on.
Wow, he's completely frozen. It's in frustration, perhaps. I dare say she can be one rather trying opponent. In any case, Mr. Elba, can you actually prove to us that you were watching the show?
Hold it!
Are you admitting then that you have no way of proving to us that you were watching?
Quiet! You're buzzing my ear like a pesky little fly. If you don't wish to listen quietly until the end of what I have to say, then perhaps you should pack up and get out of my way. Grr! Huh. I see that you're willing to be a bit more receptive now. While it's true that it may be difficult to prove that I was out in the audience,
Hold it!
Well, I remember the contents of the show as well myself.
that's nice.
That's nice. Miles Edgeworth, don't allow yourself to be riled up by him at this important juncture. Wasn't planning to let him. Well, if you ask me, I think I'm the biggest Steel Samurai expert around here. And didn't you think that the cinematic scene of today's show was just totally awesome?
Yes, I remember that as well. And that spectacular special move. The way you deliver the final blow against the evil magistrate, early summer rain jab, on that scene will live on in my heart forever.
Is that how it went? Huh? I totally forgot about that.
How can you forget your own special move?
That's the special attack that the Steel Samurai uses when he's using this samurai spear.
Yes, and today was the first time they showed it off, was it not? If I hadn't watched the show, then how could I answer you with the name of the move?
I suppose you're correct, but if you could please elaborate on this point for me.
One of the scenes was of his never-before-seen early summer rain jab move.
Early summer rain jab was a move that was to be unveiled today. Well, it did pop up. It's just that I miscounted.
And because I saw that brand new special move, I believe it confirms my alibi.
How sad. The only way he's got to protect himself is that he watched the Steel Samurai. Plus, since Restream's chat sometimes misses a few messages, I have to go back on YouTube to look at the messages. I guess this guy really has nothing else left. Yes, and to avoid arrest, you can bet he he'll say or do anything. But with all of us here, there will be no escape for him. Yeah, we'll find a way to bring him to justice. Now then, let us continue with your testimony, Mr. Elba. Very well. Still Samurai special move and the various other scenes. I agree, today will be a day to remember. Especially when we finally make you pay for all the wrongs you've committed. What? Hey, that's what the Steel Samurai said when he defeats the evil magistrate. Actually, that line was just something I ad-libbed. You may act all surprised, but naturally you remember this line, don't you? Of course I do. I just now understand how the evil magistrate felt, that's all. Then allow me to make you identify with the evil magistrate some more. Hey, then that makes you the Steel Samurai, huh? Well, if you had to complete the analogy, I suppose then yes. And I do believe it's about time to bring the curtains down on this with a bang. Kay and myself we're also in the audience of the Steel Samurai stage show. He's got nothing on the Jammin' Ninja, but he was still cool enough, I guess. Wasn't my brand new special flashing move totally rad? No, don't tell me! It was you who thought up the special move. Yep. No, what was it again? Extremely silly rain jab. Was that it? No, wait, it was stumble breaking chop. That doesn't sound quite right. How can you forget a move you came up with? The final piece to Mr. Elba's alibi is that he was watching the Steel Samurai show. However, if he was busy killing Mr. Kochin, he should not have had the time to do so. We know this statement. And we know what evidence to put it on, don't we, Dai? Why are we pressing this again? This is the start of the beginning of the testimony. So I say, you should probably already know this by now. And you should already know the evidence. Nope, it'll be this one. And yes, please stay on. Thank you. And the evidence. Think about the move that he said, and think about the evidence. Did you find it? No. Should be on this page. The special move today was the early summer rain jab. Is that your final answer?
Objection!
This is not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You little irritating nut. Do you think you can trip me up by asking the same question over and over?
That was not my intention. Your testimony is more than sufficient. However, I do believe it would be wise for you to take a look at this.
The samurai spear? What about it?
This spear actually never made it on stage today.
Excuse me?
Unfortunately for you, tonight's Steel Samurai happens to be a goof of a young man with an abundance of useless hot-bloodedness. Having said that, said useless man bent the spear during his rehearsal this evening. Okay, do you remember what the Steel Samurai special move was tonight? It was the Steel Samurai Sushi Slash. Correct. Because he couldn't use the spear. Last minute change was made. Had you really been watching the show, you would have known that move. The move that was used. Corcus Elba. You didn't watch even a single minute of the Steel Samurai stage show tonight, did you? So, if he wasn't watching the show tonight, then it opens up the possibility that he was busy killing Mr. Cochin instead. So, where were you during the show? I demand an answer, now.
Ha! Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! Just what's so funny? You're so sloppy, and so are your conclusions. I still insist that I watch the show, or most of it in any case. What do you mean by most of it? Ah, you see, during the show I left my seat for a spell to visit the bathroom. I assume that was when the dramatic scene was played out on stage. This is the lousiest, lamest excuse I've ever heard in my life, pal. Just because he got the name of the move wrong, we can't really use that as proof that he didn't watch the show at all. As a fan of the Steel Samurai, I had wanted to watch the entire show on it. As a Steel Samurai fan, for some reason, for someone who wasn't even in his seat for the climax of the show, you have no right to call yourself a Steel Samurai fan ever. Who was that just now? It would be I, young lady. Larry, what are you doing interrupting me like that? Edgy, just hold for a second, I beg. You may never accept this old man as a Steel Samurai fan, but I totally think he's a Steel Samanic. What exactly is a Steel Samanic, Bill? I believe he meant to say Steel Samurai Maniac. Yeah, and trust me, I know a real fan when I see one, because I'm the Steel Samurai. I will never acknowledge you as the true Steel Samurai. What are you getting so worked up over, Mr. Edgeworth? It appears the real Steel Samurai recognizes me as a fan. As well as he should, for I am a fan. It's not as though I missed the entire show. It was a most amazing show, filled with the spirit of the young and the young at heart. The sarcasm dripping from his long wooden nose couldn't run any thicker. Getting the name of the move wrong only proves that he didn't watch the last scene. What I really need here is something more definitive. Something that links Mr. Alba directly to the murder of Mr. Manny Cochin. You know what, Gramps? You're really something else. I'm honored to receive such praise from the Steel Samurai. But what is it for? Well, I was just wondering how you found out about the early summer rain jab. That move is a bit of a secret that only a small portion of staff know about. Wait, it was a secret? Larry, wait, what did you just say? Did I say something stupid again? Did you say that the early summer rain jab was actually a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't have said secret. It's more like we only decided on the name of the move right before the start of the show. Right before? Yeah, the stage director was going nuts because we were supposed to debut the move. About 5 minutes before the show, we threw it up on the dressing room's whiteboard. Early summer rain jab. That's kind of how we decided the name of the move. But by the time, I already bent the spear, so I guess the whole thing was kind of pointless. All of you Steel Samurai actors are the same. The director has my complete sympathy. So basically, because we changed the move to the sushi splash, we kind of pretended that the early summer rain jab didn't exist at all. I mean, it'd be bad if someone found out we changed the move, so we made it a secret. So basically, a gag order.
It also makes the early summer rain jab sound like a lost art. Yeah, which is why I think most of the staff haven't even heard of the move.
Hold those lips of yours still.
What the heck, old man?
I've done nothing but listen, and from what I can tell, it's all very unrelated to the case. It's also very tedious and a pointless exercise in wasting time, much like a kid's show.
Isn't the Steel Samurai a kid's show?
Mr. Elba, I believe the one who should be quiet now is you.
How dare you! I suspect that you've already noticed exactly what the very severe implications are in this man's testimony.
Ha! So now you're trying to bully me, huh? There are no implications to be read into a behind-the-scenes story of a kid's show. Don't even think about trying to slither your way out of this, Quarkus Elba.
You were the one who said it yourself that the name of the move was the early summer rain jab. But that name was only decided upon right before the show was about to start.
So? Just what are you driving at? That the name of the move you just told us was never used in the show or said aloud?
Now then, would you care to tell us about how you found out the name of the move?
Because I can only think of one way you could have known.
Quarkus Elba, this is the only way you could have known the name of the special move. There's only one. I'll make this easy for you. The last one completely doesn't make sense. Nope. He would have saw it. He would have seen it. You knew the name because you saw it. You saw it on the dressing room's whiteboard. Yeah, remember, it was written on the whiteboard. And if he had left to go use the bathroom, he probably walked right past the dressing room and looked right in and saw it written on the whiteboard. The staff members who knew were keeping it a secret. So you couldn't have simply gone up to a staff member and asked. Which means that the only other option left is that you saw it on the whiteboard. So that means that Mr. Alba was in the waiting room at some point, right? What's the big deal, sir? I don't see what that means. There is another piece of evidence that has a great deal to do with the dressing room. So we can't afford to let this slide. This is related to both the dressing room and to Mr. Cochin's murder. Now we're getting to something. This you should already know the answer to. We have it on surveillance. Well, the tape is of the KG8 incident. So, but that's not the same. The tape is the KG8 incident. That doesn't reflect what's happened now. No, that's not going to help us. The push cart that was used to move the body was right there in the dressing room. During the show, the pushcart awaits its turn to be pushed on stage in the dressing room. And it was finally pushed there along with the Iron Infant in the last scene of the show. And then right after the show ended, it was into the Elabeth along with the Steel Samurai. Which means that the only time the killer could have placed the body inside the pushcart was when the pushcart was in the dressing room backstage. So basically the killer has to be someone who visited the dressing room during the show. Precisely. Oh, but wait! What if, and this is a what if the murder didn't take place in the dressing room? Well, what do you mean, Kay? I have to admit, she brings up a valid possibility. During the show, the dressing room was supposed to be devoid of people. Anyone going into the private dressing room would stand out like a sore thumb. But despite that, the killer still managed to move the body into the pushcart. Correct, and it's because of the setup of the theater's dressing room that it would be the ideal location for the murder of Manny Cochin. Porca Selba, during the show, you went down to the dressing room, and I want to know why. Yes, I was there. I went into the dressing room. I knew it! I'm placing you on arrest right now, pal. You got that? Arrest! Not so fast. What does it know? Don't I deserve a chance to explain myself? Explain? What is there to explain? I believe I told you earlier that I went to the bathroom. Well, I got lost when I did. I wanted to ask for directions, but when I opened the dressing room door, no one was inside. He's an ambassador. How could he get lost? He should know exactly where everything's at. Yeah. That is a far-fetched tale, wouldn't you say, Di? An ambassador getting lost. And that's when I saw the name of the move on the whiteboard. You punk. Still trying to get out of this. Do you really think you can get away at this point? Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there anything you can do to stop him? I don't have enough evidence on hand to do anything. I don't have the airtight evidence I need to put this man away for good. But if that's what I need, then perhaps... Ensign Lang, I believe an investigation of the dressing room in question is in order. It's possible that we may find new evidence there. Yeah, if Mr. Edgeworth posts around in there, I'm sure he'll find some new facts, pal. Ooh, and if we use Little Thief, we may even learn something from a recreation. We don't need to do any of that. What, Wolfie? How could you? I'm not saying this to be mean. It's just that we've already searched there. My men really are something else. And they found nothing? There's only one thing I can say to you, sis. And it's that they found nothing. That's it. I guess you're right. If they had found something, they would have reported it to us. They couldn't find anything because there was nothing to find. And if there's no info to feed into Little Thief, then I can't do much to help either. Is this the end? The murder took place in this theater, which is not protected under extraterritorial rights. And the fact that it was Mr. Elbow himself who committed the murder, if I can't prove both statements to be true, Mr. Elbow walked away a free man. Is there no other course of action left to us?
would appear that your hand of cards have turned out to be a bust. Now, if you'll excuse me, because of you people, I missed my flight. Now I must make haste to arrange for a new one.
That kind of reminds me of, what's his name? Firo Tigra. Remember how he got upset because he missed his flight? Then he had to charter a train or bus. Who is it this time?
Hold it right there, you whippersnappers! Ah! First Larry, now you! What is with that scary mobster-like scowl on your face, Edgy Poo? Don't treat me like I'm some sort of nuisance. I've been meaning to say this, but all of you keep talking about things I don't get at all. You're all leaving this lady in the sad, depressing, lonely dust that I'm about to cry in.
Why did you have to speak up right at this instant?
But you know what, Edgy Poo? Cheer up. Because I'm about to give you the most wonderful thing.
The most wonderful thing? From you?
It's so super special that I couldn't give it away to just anyone, you know. My special present of love to my sweet Edgy Poo. Are you ready? Is this.
It's a box of those samurai dogs, right?
Yes. Oh, Edgy Poo. Here, go on and eat one and you'll feel as right as rain.
Are we through here?
Why did everyone get so quiet all of a sudden? Edgy Poo! Tell me you understand the depths of this lady's love for you. I'm not one to hand out snacks willy-nilly, you know? No, sir. The thought occurred to me that maybe it would be good.
Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do anything about her? There is no power on earth that can force that woman into silence.
But I'm so sick and tired of it. All you people do is look down on me. Even this box of samurai dogs plays me for a fool. It had a special design on its fan like the Japanese flag, so I thought it was special. But when I ate one, it tasted just like all the rest. Ooh, it made me so mad.
Wait, a special box with a Hinomaru-like fan on it? I've never heard of such a piece of merchandise existing before. However, there it is. The red rising sun on this fan is filled in. Is it possible? Could it be? After the show, the samurai dogs were piled up on the dressing room floor. However, there is no such thing as a rising sun dog. This contradiction of facts between something that should not exist and yet does. The rays from this rising sun may be just what we need to point us in the right direction. A present? The studio bigwigs basically told us to play delivery boys. We were supposed to hand the dogs off to the embassy people and tell them hi. I had to pile them all into the pushcart just to move them all. I believe you understand what this means, correct? You killed Mr. Cochin at this theater, and then place his body inside the push cart. And then, you force the steel samurai to unwittingly move the body for you. It's time to piece the final piece of this logic puzzle together. No matter how fragile or small the connections may be. Once we find them all, the way to the truth will be revealed. The killer pushed the pushcart to transport the body, which means that they had to remove the samurai dogs from within first. Therefore, the samurai dogs that were piled up on the dressing room floor were most likely taken out of the pushcart by the killer. That which should not exist, this box of samurai dogs with a Hinamaru on it. If this red rising sun was filled in with the killer when the killer was busy moving dogs from the pushcart, then it's proof that the murder took place in the dressing room. As long as this red substance turns out to be what I believe it to be. Wendy Oldbag, I thank you. What you have just given to me is truly something very special. Angie Poo! Mr. Edgeworth, are you sure you feel okay, sir? Mr. Elbow, as I suspected, you killed Mr. Cochin in the dressing room. How many times must I listen to you repeat yourself? Haven't you figured it out yet? Your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The only way I'm going to continue to cooperate is with some decisive evidence. That arrogance, that self-confidence. You believe that you've erased every piece of evidence that could incriminate you. However, there remains one piece here, and it is what will put you away for good. Ha! You're bluffing. Uh-oh. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, sounds like you finally found them. You finally found the fangs we need to go after this guy's juggler. So tell us, what about the box of samurai dog is going to put the old man away? The trace evidence that will bring him down. Why, it's here, of course. This box of samurai dogs with a rising sun fan on it. This should never have existed. So, I want you all to take a good look at the red spot. It's a single drop of blood. Huh? What? Blood, you say? Agent Lang, I'd like to have this blood analyzed post-haste. I've got to admit, I'm a bit surprised. I can't believe we found blood in a place like this. Hey, you, get this down to the lab pronto. But why was there blood on that box to begin with? If we think about the flow of the crime, I think the reason will become obvious. Larry, you said that you transported the samurai dogs with the pushcart, correct? Yeah, you have a great memory, Edgy. That pushcart was a bit too big for my son, so you know what I mean? So to make sure everyone could see him, I had to pile some stuff in. I figured the samurai dogs were there, so I used them to fill up the cart. If what Larry says is true, then what were the boxes doing on the floor?
Ah, I see. The killer took them out in order to place the body in the push cart.
Exactly. And that is when I believe the victim's blood found its way onto that box.
But when my men investigated that room, not a single drop of samurai dogs were in there,
because embassy staff members had already confiscated them. Yes, no doubt to hide the evidence of the murder. It's a good thing Miss Oldbag managed to steal that one box before they got to them, huh? Looks like Miss Oldbag also managed to put the great thief to shame.
What a scandalous way of putting that! I didn't steal! I received it from myself!
Quarkus Elba, I say this was one very fatal oversight on your part.
Ha 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 ha! Sorry to rain on your little love fest, however.
How can he be so self-confident in a no-win situation for him like this?
Even if that blood turns out to belong to Mr. Cochin, then what?
So, Mr. Edgeworth, it sounds like he's not ready to call it quits yet, huh? The sole piece of evidence that was left at the scene of the crime, that alone has shed light on a new fact. At the very least, we now have proof that the murder occurred in the dressing room.
And? You say that like it means something?
Huh? Excuse me, sirs.
Report. What were the results of the analysis?
Sir, the analysis came back and confirmed that the red substance is blood.
I knew it. But this Quarkus Elba.
Mr. Edgeworth,
I wonder if you might humor my question.
Question?
The one from before, or have you forgotten? Even if that is Mr. Cochin's blood, what difference would it make? Like we already told you, it proves that the crime scene was that dressing room. But it doesn't prove that I am the killer. That's...
He has a very good point. The blood on the box doesn't prove that Mr. Elba is the killer. Then, this evidence, it's meaningless?
That can't be. We're so close, sir. Ha 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 ha.
I want to smack that smug look off his face. Come on, there's got to be something we can do. Finally found a solid piece of evidence. There must be something I can expose with it.
Ah! I can't think of a single thing. Ha 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 ha. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my way. Who was that? It's too late. I won't allow anyone to stop me now. It wasn't me, pal. It wasn't me this time either. It wasn't me either. It was me!
Why did you... because I haven't finished reporting everything to you yet, sir. There's more?
What? Hurry up and spit it out!
Yes, sir. The blood I mentioned. It's not of the same blood type as the victim's blood.
What? No! What? What? What do you mean it's not the same type? You mean it's not the victim's blood? If it isn't his, then whose the hell is it?
I don't know, sir. All I know is that it's not the same blood type as the victim's, sir. What should we do now, Mr. Edgeworth? I have no idea what anymore. Huh. Di, do you know whose blood it is? Do you know whose blood it is? Because the answer to that will solve this mystery completely. You think you know? Neither do I.
My, what an amusing turn of events. That blood drop proved something to be true, all right. Namely, my words.
And which of your words would that be?
The ones where I said that your words are meaningless, worthless, and powerless. The blood has nothing to do with the murder investigation whatsoever. Did I remind you that the blood got onto the box long before it entered my embassy?
What sort of nonsense?
Yeah, it's blood, pal. There's no way it's not related to the murder. Haha, so you would like to believe. But what if someone preparing the samurai dog had a small nosebleed? What then?
I guess that's possible.
Damn it! Have we been wasting our time on a red herring? The blood doesn't belong to anyone connected to the case. That should be clue enough. Quirkaselba, you asshole! Silent! Don't you ever address me with such a filthy word again. I've wasted enough time here with you, and you have your answers. Now let me through. Elba, it doesn't matter where you run off to. You'll never escape me. Someday, I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see.
What did I call him? What did I call him? What did you think I called him? What did you think I called him? Why can't you? I said it on. If you know what it is, just say it. What's not PG? My rule says I allow mild swearing. Did it not? Does it not say that, Di? I allow mild swearing. Well, I didn't repeat the word that was in the game. I didn't repeat the word that was in the game. The reason why I didn't repeat the word in the game, because if you're sponsored by somebody, they expect you to try to keep it clean as possible for advertisement purposes. That word is not as bad as people makes it out to be. That word is not as bad as people makes it out to be. I would accept that over the one that they had in the game.
Someday I'll have the satisfaction of sinking my fangs into you. You'll see. And all of Interpol will be behind me, working to see to it that the day comes. Ha 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 ha! Do you know what your word sounds like to me? They sound like the whinings of a pathetic loser of a mutt. Arrgh! Is this really the extent of all that we can do? Is the blood really from someone completely unrelated to the case? Or is there another possibility? Someone else other than the victim? Just when I thought I had him back into a corner, it is I who have been backed into one. In a situation like this, what would that man do? Who is he talking about, Di? Who is he talking about? You're right. What would he, who can turn any desperation situation around, do? No, I asked what Edgeworth is talking about, Phoenix. Aren't you paying attention? Turn it around? That's it. I must turn my way of thinking around. It's not whose blood this is. It's whose blood could get onto the box like this. And if I think about it that way, if the blood got onto the box when the body was being placed into the push cart, then the owner of said blood must have been in the dressing room at the time. And there is only one person that could be. It's what you said was irrelevant to what was being discussed. Well, I must praise you for trying so hard. It's because of you kids that I was removed from center stage and will be forced to live out the rest of my life in the shadows, unfortunately. But it's not a total loss, as the underworld will allow me more freedom than you'll ever know. Freedom like what the raven feels as if it flies through the dark night sky. You can't lay a finger on me, nor now or ever. The arm of the law is powerless before me. Powerless? Is it? I wouldn't be so sure about it if I were you. What do you mean? Allow me to describe you in one word. Pitiful. Pitiful? Ah, so. Corcus alba. Your wings were clipped long ago. And for someone who is trying to fly away on them without noticing that fact, pitiful is the perfect word to describe you. Ha! Mere words. What do you mean by his words are clipped, Mr. Edgeworth? Just what you think it means, Kay. We had already caught him in our traps a while back, with an incredibly powerful, decisive piece of evidence. Hey, Earth to Mr. Prosecutor, care to speak in English? What are you talking about? What piece of evidence? The piece I speak of is, of course, a drop of blood. But we know that it's not from the victim. I don't see how it remains relevant to the case at all. It's on karma. I believe that is exactly why it's very important to this case. And the part that is the most important is the fact that it's not the victim's blood. You're looking a little pale. Good. I believe you're already aware of what I mean. Then you know who the blood belongs to?
Of course I do. This piece of evidence is the irrefutable proof that will stop the killer in his tracks. The blood that soiled this box of samurai dogs belongs to this person. Who is it?
Take that!
The blood of the rising sun on this box belongs to you, Quarkus Alba.
Grr. What? What?
Why is his blood on the box of samurai dogs? He's not even a victim. The blood fell onto the box when Mr. Cochin's body was being loaded into the push cart. At that time, the only two people in the dressing room were the victim and his killer.
So that's what you mean. If the blood doesn't belong to the victim,
then there is only one other person it could belong to. Yes, and that person is the murderer himself. That's the only logical conclusion.
But Mr. Cochin was the one who was stabbed, sir. Why would Mr. Alba have been the one who was bleeding?
What if during the murder Mr. Cochin had fought back? You mean if before Mr. Alba could kill him, Mr. Cochin managed to wound Mr. Alba? Yes, and I believe we have a piece of evidence that proves that he was bleeding then. What is the piece of evidence that shows that Mr. Alba was probably bleeding at the time? You know what it is, Di?
Take that!
Mr. Alba, you bear on your body a great wound.
That was from the Damask 2 attack me with a pair of scissors.
Yeah, and that happened way after he was in the dressing room. But is that what really happened? You can manufacture a weapon by smearing blood on it. So I can't just accept that as fact. Shall we try a test, Mr. Alba, and see if the shape of your wound matches the scissors?
You really are something else, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't let a single thing slip you by, no matter how insignificant the possibility.
You're one to talk, Mr. Alba. You've managed to give the law the slip for 10 years as a smuggling ringleader. No matter the danger, you can hide every last ounce of fear and anxiety from everyone. You truly are a one-of-a-kind criminal.
I am the master of my fear. However, to think that a person such as you could miss such a large thing?
You believe I've overlooked something?
You said that my wound was caused by Mr. Cochin, and that it was caused here in one of the theater's dressing rooms, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I'd like to point out that it's simply not possible. My wound is a stab wound, and one that could only have come from a blade. I wonder where you would propose that such a weapon came from.
This theater was packed with security guards. It would have been impossible for anyone to come into the area with a weapon of any sort. Just as Mr. Alba was about to bring in the Albastine knife into a bouquet, there must have been some other way to sneak in a weapon of some sort.
But as long as you can't prove what the other way is, all your talk about Mr. Cochin stabbing me is pure nonsense. So if the other way does exist, you'd better hurry up and tell me now.
With pleasure. You know what he's talking about, right, Di?
Wait, what?
This piece of evidence shows us how Mr. Cochin brought a weapon into this theater. The final key to this entire mystery. That was technically the clue.
Take that!
Among law enforcement, this piece is known as the Yatagarasu key.
That key!
That's the key that my father stole from here 7 years ago. And it is very unique in that it is both a key and a knife. Meaning that under the gist of a key, it could have been easily brought into the theater.
No!
You couldn't dispose of the knife that stabbed you. Therefore, you wiped off the blood and placed it back in Mr. Cochin's pocket. After all, the key itself opens the safe in his office. And inside that safe, there was a document about Cadopian papers signed by Mr. Cochin. In order to make it look like Mr. Cochin died as the leader of the smuggling ring, you had to make it so that the police were the ones who opened this office safe. All that hard work to save yourself only served to destroy you in the end. So we try matching this knife blade with your wound, Mr. Quarkus Alba. And that is what so many call the Cote de Grace. Or Cote de Grace, as how it's traditionally pronounced.
Impossible! You can't take me down. Swine, all of you. Especially Manny Cochin. This is all because of that man's betrayal. He sought to steal control of the smuggling ring from me by removing me as ambassador, which is why he deserved to die while bearing the guilt of all of my crimes for me. That's why I sent out the Yatagarasu's card and how this incident was born. Manny was supposed to be the smuggling ring's leader who was killed by the Yatagarasu, but I had yet another reason. Yet another story that was supposed to play out. Manny's death was supposed to bring everything to a close. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling prosecutors. And that little dog too. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Mr. Elwell, I'm afraid there is one more question I forgot to ask. This country, or Alabas, which country's court would you like to face first? Either way, it's game over for you. March 17th, 11:21 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Phew. Sorry, everyone. This is it. The big day. It's Mr. Elba's trial today. And next week, he schedules to stand trial in his own country of Alabama.
Franziska is heading that one. I suspect she'll be serving a full course of whiplash at it. Having to face Miss Von Karma in court right after facing you, sir. I don't even want to think of what that could be like. Got a glimpse of Mr. Alba as he was being escorted into the courthouse. Boy, he looked about as glum as I do the day before I get my monthly paycheck. You know, I've been thinking. That flight attendant and even Mr. Politzman were all Mr. Alba's secret agents. Correct. That smuggling ring was the common thread between all the incidents. Acme Meal was to provide support during smuggling ops, using her job as an attendant. Mr. Portsman was to manipulate trials related to the ring to end in their favor. It flies airlines and even the prosecutor's office. No one was safe from the smuggling ring, huh, sir? I suppose there was even more members of the ring spread throughout the world. Yeah, it sounds like such a big op that I can't even begin to imagine what it's like. What is it, detective? Nothing, it's just... Well, come to think of it, Mr. Ernest Amano's trial is almost scheduled for later today, sir. I'm aware of that. Mr. Amano has been working with the smuggling ring now for over 10 years. He used the Amano Group's various connections worldwide to assist the ring. But all of that has come to an end as his conglomerate is now undergoing harsh scrutiny. Oh, Mr. Amano, a debt of gratitude, but he must pay his debt to society. Well, with the arrest of both Mr. Elba and Mr. Amano, I guess that's about wraps up the KG8 incident as well, huh? I suppose so. The real killer in the KG8 incident 10 years ago was Manny Cochin. And 7 years ago, the killer in the second KG incident was Macrell. Those two facts are the unshakable truth. However, it seems that a lot of effort was put into hiding these and other truths from us. And I will expose it all at the trials today. You're solving cases left and right today, aren't you, sir? CCU and D-Man? Perhaps now these two brave souls who tried to make the truth known can rest in peace. By the way, I received some gifts from Ambassador Palino. Shrimp, crab, beef. I don't need any of these, so I'm giving them to you. What? Seriously, sir? Wait, actually, I don't think I want them anymore. The way you're reading them, don't tell me they're just coupons, sir. Detective Gumshoe, have you not read the paper recently? Ever since the two countries became Cadopia again, its economy has changed. Really? And it seems that Ambassador Palino has reaped a few benefits of his own from it. He has been announced as the official ambassador of the new reunified Cadopia. Ah, but what a pity. Even though every item he sent is a treasure, you don't seem all that interested. Well, if you don't want them, I can give them to my lovely assistant, Kay. Wait, that's not what I said! So, Mr. Edgeworth, please let me have them, sir. Actually, come to think of it, where is Kay? How come she's still not here? Hey, you've got to be more alert than that! I can't believe you didn't notice! I was even mimicking Mr. Edgeworth's voice for a bit. I totally didn't notice you or realize that voice was you. Like D says, furious love blooms with each new spring. And you're lying. A pleasant surprise to see you here. And it's been a long time since I set foot in a courthouse, but I wasn't going to, miss.
watching this guy who screwed up my country finally get what's coming to him. Well, that and something else. I want to see you in action in court. That's so, Agent Lang. We fleshed out all the counterfeit bills, so Zhang Fa is finally at peace again. And it's all thanks to you. So I just wanted to say thanks.
Wow. I never thought I'd see the day old Woofy says thanks to Mr. Edgeworth.
I should be the one thanking you, Agent Lang. If you hadn't negated Mr. Alba's extraterritorial rights, I would not have been able to bring him to trial. I believe the victory belongs to the both of us in this case. A shared victory, huh? Look, don't get me wrong. I'll still never forgive you prosecutors. I have zero interest in that truth thing you talk about in court. I've always done things my own way, and that's not about to change. You got that? I see. Well, I believe you should follow your own creed when you do your job. Yeah, and if there's ever someone your precious truth can't catch, feel free to sit around and cry about it all you want. But as for me, I'm going to get that person no matter what. Alright, it's about time for the trial to start. I'll see you later. I'll be watching your performance from the gallery. Looking forward to this. I prepared a whole ton of ticker tape for today's victory, sir.
I'll help throw some around when Mr. Edgeworth wins.
Hope you got enough, because I'm going to go call my men up as well. A modest amount of ticker tape goes a long way. The scene shifts to a courtroom and the final act of this long tale begins. The legend of the great thief Yatagarasu is the story of who chooses to decide their lives to pursue the truth. Prosecutors are those who seek the guilty verdict for the defendant, and to the very end you have no choice but to win. The creed was forced upon me. However, I no longer think that all prosecutors are, and that is because even though I've always been away from the courtroom this long, I feel as though it's been a lifetime since I've set foot in one. Today, more than any other day, I feel the fight. Alright, what do you think? Sorry I couldn't finish all that. And I'm not going to bother trying to read all the dialogues here. You liked it? Okay. Alright. We finally come to the end of this game. I said it's not happening next week. Did you not pay attention? You did not hear a single word I said, did you? Prosecutor's Gambit is not happening next week. I said I don't know what I'm going to be doing next week. Prosecutor Gambit is in 2 weeks. You really need to listen. I will try to figure out what I'm going to be doing next Monday. But it's only natural that I take a break. And yeah, and if you've been paying attention, Phoenix, you will know that at the end of every Ace Attorney game, I took a week break off of them. I did it to give a rest to my voice. Di even knows this.
And I managed to finish this up before midnight. How about that? You struggled with it? How did you struggle with it? God, did we even struggle? Did you struggle on the original one, or did you struggle on the remake? Practice. You need a lot of practice. Your voice isn't that deep, so you should be able to do female characters. There is still one character that's going to really torture my voice a lot, and that's Manfred von Karma's voice. Sad to say that his is not done yet. Manfred is not finished yet. I think he's asking about his voice acting. Maggie Bird got fired from her security job. No! God, why does that red carpet look like wood now? What are you waiting for? Mindy ditched them, huh? He's with Makaru now? I think she's gonna go Paris, and she's gonna leave you behind. Blue Ocean Dog. A blue hot dog and a blue bun, huh? That kind of sounds weird. Well, you can still play them. No one said you had to stream them right away. You can always stream them later. You have a long ways to go before you get to those. You should already have those completely finished by the time you stream them. Dai's favorite detective. Right, Dai? Your favorite detective. Did you read that, Dai? I've been noticing gray hairs in my beard recently. I think I may retire my mirror. I think I explained this, okay, or Phoenix. It's really not worth making videos of the Ace Attorney games, okay? Because, like I said, there's a lot of people that's not going to sit through very long videos. And because it's very hard to know exactly where to stop in the middle of one of those chapters in Ace Attorney, it's much easier to stream them. Because then with the stream, you can either have a choice whether you want to end at the chapter or continue to the next chapter. Because cutting in the middle of the chapter kind of would just ruin the entire reason why a chapter exists. March 17th, 4:33 p.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202. Whoop! I feel so much better now that this trial's over. And as always, your legal prowess was top-notch, sir. I really wish I could have been at the trial. I wanted to see the trial. Yeah, and nothing beats the look on Mr. Alba's face when you revealed the ringleader's secret. I was amazed. You're like a totally different person when you step into a courtroom. Mr. Edgeworth is always 10 times fiercer in court. Based on that information Mr. Alba offered up, they've begun large-scale operations to clean up the rest of the ring, which I'm happy to leave to Franziska and Agent Lang. So, what are your plans now, Kay? Oh, well, we've taken care of that creep who killed my father, so I'm not sure. Hey, I know. Maybe I'll just keep on being Mr. Edgeworth's assistant. Are you still trying to steal my job, pal? Just kidding, just kidding. I can't steal something so important to you, Gummy. Ew, what a relief. Okay? Yes? Even after all that's happened, are you still planning to become a great thief? Of course! But I don't want to tarnish the legend of the noble Yadograt. So I'm going to hold off on doing anything until I make a tight 3-person team of my own. A 3-person team? A 3-person team of young beauties, the same age as me, if possible. those criteria, I highly doubt you'll find the two people you need. My father chose to fight for the truth. I think that's what was so noble about him. So you see, Mr. Edgeworth, the only things I will ever steal are the truths that have been hidden away. I'm going to work extra hard to make a world where the Yatagarasu isn't needed. Let's both strive for such a future. Well, I guess it's time for me to get going. Let's see. Okay? Keep your chin up and stay strong, okay? And don't be a stranger. Don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be sure to break the lock on the window and sneak in. If you could, I appreciate it if you come in through the building front door. It's okay, Mr. Edgeworth. The lock on my window at home has been broken for forever. Oh, one last thing before I go. Let's take a group picture. Just the three of us. Yeah, come on with the photo. Every big case has to end with one. No. Hey, why not? Don't tell me you're camera shy, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, of course not, detective. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm taking the picture now. Hey, come back here! Mr. Edgeworth, you can't run away from this, sir! Hey, Detective Gumshoe! Stop that! I can't be doing that! Okay, I'm taking it now. Say cheese! This is such a really good photo. And thus, the long-tailed KG incident came to a close. It saw the demise of a smuggling ring and the birth of the little great thief, and there is a little time to rest and relax. For I am eager to tackle the investigation into a new case. The reason for my eagerness is my want to pursue the truth and I want to believe in the strength of those who use the power of the law for good. As someone who has chosen to live my life as a prosecutor. That is my new creed. Okay, now that is officially the end of the game. You liked the ending of that one, didn't you? All right. Okay. Let's see. Hey YouTube, there has always been audio throughout my entire stream, so you can't tell me there has been no audio. Okay. As I said before, I'm not sure what I'm going to be streaming next Monday. I will figure it out. Prosecutor's Gamut will start 2 Mondays from now. With that said, figure out who we're going to raid. I am going to avoid Echoes of Wisdom for now, because I know a certain fairy that doesn't want to be spoiled. Alright. We're gonna raid Raina. She is she's doing a test raid. Alright. So that'll be it. Say goodbye to Miles Edgeworth Investigation. We probably won't get to that game for a long time again. I probably will not be the one voice acting for it the next time we do it again, but we'll see how long it'll take. It's been 3 years since I did these before. Because I remember in what was it, 2021? Where I had COVID and I was doing the Great Ace Attorney 2. And I was literally beating myself up over a case that actually the game itself was boring me completely. Last case was actually pretty good in resolve, but Great Ace Attorney 2 was not that great. I didn't feel like it was a great game. The writing was stale. There was no new elements in resolve. It just felt like it was just a copy-paste game because they were cases that were cut from the first game. The last one was the only one that felt new to me. Anyways, this is going to be the end for tonight's stream. Tonight, don't forget, PFL off season. That'll be it for me. See you guys.